Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're going deep on venture capital.
Ooh, venture capital.
Yeah, but it's going to be more interesting than you think.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So we're looking at this firm called Bling Capital, and they've had incredible success with picking out companies that become like huge EE.
Like those billion-dollar unicorn companies you hear about.
Exactly. And they just raised this massive new fund, too.
Oh, wow. How much are we talking?
$270 million.
Yeah.
All going to the next wave of startups.
Yeah, but see, that's what I find fascinating. They have this strategy with their picks.
Right. Like, it's not random. There's a method to it, and we're going to break it down.
Okay, so think of it like this. They're unicorn hunters.
Unicorn hunters. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Under their founder, Ben Ling, they've backed 19 unicorns.
19. That's nuts. So is it like a sixth sense? How do they do it?
Well, it helps that their team has some serious experience.
Oh, yeah. Like what kind of background?
Okay, so Bling Capital was founded in 2018 by this guy, Ben Ling.
Okay.
And his resume is amazing. Google, YouTube, Facebook, then Khosla Ventures.
Wow. He's worked with the giants.
Right. And then you've got their general partner, Kyle Lue. He came from DCM.
Where he backed some big names too, right? Like,
DocSend and HIMS.
That's right. So they've got this all-star team and a crazy track record.
Mm-hmm. And get this. The new fund is actually their fourth fund.
So it's not their first time at the rodeo?
Nope. And their previous fund was structured similarly just 2 years ago.
So clearly they're doing something right.
Exactly. So now the question is, what's their secret? What makes them different?
Yeah, what sets them apart from everyone else trying to find the next big thing?
Well, they specialize in seed stage investing.
Seed stage, so like really early on.
Yep. When the companies are just starting out, they're betting on potential.
That seems pretty risky. Aren't they worried about losing money?
It is risky, but they're experts at spotting potential, and they don't just give money.
What else do they do?
They're really hands-on with their companies.
Hands-on how? Like telling them what to do all the time?
No. It's more like guidance and mentorship every step of the way.
Okay, that makes more sense. But could that be too much?
Too much. You mean like stifling their creativity?
Yeah, exactly. Could the founders become too reliant on them?
That's a great point. And it's a risk, but from what I've seen, Bling finds a good balance.
So they're like partners, not dictators.
Exactly. They offer insights and connections, but let the founders do their thing.
Okay, that's cool. But you mentioned earlier about a second part of their fund.
Oh, yeah, the Opportunity Fund.
What is that exactly?
So remember how they invest in companies at the seed stage?
Mm.
Well, this Opportunity Fund lets them invest more in those same companies later on.
Oh, I see. So they're not just betting at the start, they're sticking with them as they grow.
Exactly. And that probably plays a big role in how they create so many unicorns.
So it's more than just money. It's about commitment and support long term.
You got it.
Okay, so we've got a team with a killer track record.
Yeah.
They focus on early stage companies. They have this unique approach with mentorship, and they're committed for the long haul.
It's a powerful combination for sure.
But there's got to be more to it, right? Like, what's their real secret weapon? What truly sets them apart?
Oh, you want to know about the secret weapon?
You bet. Stay tuned, everyone, because in part 2, we'll uncover the secret weapon that makes Bling Capital a unicorn-making machine.
All right, so you want to know the real secret weapon? It's their network of advisors they call the Product Council.
Okay, the Product Council. Sounds important.
It is. It's like having the best minds in tech on speed dial for their startups.
Wow. Seriously, like who are we talking about here?
Think like people from Notion, OpenAI, Scale AI, Stripe. The top dogs.
Whoa, that's impressive. But why would those people even bother? They must be super busy.
Well, it's actually beneficial for everyone involved.
Oh, how so?
For the advisors, it's a chance to mentor the up-and-comers and give back.
Makes sense. Kind of like paying it forward.
Exactly. And they get to see the newest ideas firsthand, stay ahead of the curve.
And for the startups, I bet it's invaluable to get advice from people who've been there.
Totally. Especially at the seed stage when they're just figuring things out.
Yeah. Right. They're still building their product, finding their market.
Exactly. Having that guidance can make or break a company in those early days.
Okay, I'm seeing how this all fits together, but can we go back to the structure of their fund for a sec?
Sure. What do you want to?
You mentioned it was split between seed investments and that opportunity fund thing.
Right. So most of the $270 million goes to those initial seed investments.
So that's where they plant the seeds, so to speak.
Yep. But that opportunity fund is crucial too. It lets them double down on the companies that start to take off.
So they're not just betting once, they're watching how things go
Yeah.
and then can invest even more.
You got it. And that gives them a leg up on other firms that might only focus on that first investment.
So Bling is in it for the long haul. They're committed.
Exactly.
This is really fascinating stuff. But what's the takeaway for our listeners? Like, why should they care about all this venture capital stuff?
That's a great question. Think of it like this. Those seed investments, they're like little acorns.
Little acorns.
Yeah. But they have the potential to grow into massive oak trees. These are the companies that could change the world someday.
Wow, I like that analogy.
It's about understanding the future, you know? By looking at what successful firms like Bling are doing, we get a glimpse into what's coming next.
So it's not just about money, it's about understanding the trends that shape our world.
Exactly. And there's another layer to this.
Oh, what's that?
Bling's success isn't just about them, it's about the bigger picture of venture capital.
What do you mean?
They're setting a new standard. They're proving that this hands-on mentorship approach can really work.
So are other firms going to start copying them? Is this like a new era of venture capital?
That's the big question. Bling has definitely made everyone pay attention, and some are already incorporating parts of their strategy.
Interesting. So what does that mean for the whole startup world?
Well, if more firms take this approach, it could mean a more supportive environment for startups in general.
Right. Like they'd have access to more than just money.
Exactly. They'd have guidance and mentorship, which is huge when you're just starting out.
It's almost like leveling the playing field.
Right. And the more successful startups we have, the more innovation and progress we see as a society.
I like that.
Yeah.
So ultimately it benefits everyone.
That's the idea. And Bling Capital is at the forefront of this shift.
Okay, so for our listeners out there, here's something to think about.
I'm listening.
If Bling's success is any indication, the future of venture capital might not be about the venture as much as it's about the capital.
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about human capital,
Yeah.
the mentorship, the partnership. It's not just about throwing money at a problem.
You're saying it's about working together to build companies that actually make a difference.
Exactly. And that's a future I think we can all get behind. Okay, so we've uncovered their secret sauce, this awesome team, their focus on early stage companies, that amazing network of advisors, and their commitment to helping those companies grow.
Yeah, it's a potent recipe.
But the big question is, what does Bling's success tell us about the future of venture capital? Like, are we seeing a real shift happening here?
Well, it's definitely interesting. For a long time, venture capital was like this high-stakes game.
High stakes how?
Firms would spread their investments around, hoping a few wins would cover the losses.
Kind of like throwing a bunch of darts and seeing what hits the bullseye?
Exactly. But Bling Capital, they're doing something different.
Yeah, they're more strategic. Right.
Right. They're not just playing the odds, they're picking companies they believe in and then really working to help them succeed.
So it's a true partnership, not just a financial transaction.
That's a good way to put it. And that's why their success is so fascinating.
Because it shows there's a different way to do things.
Yeah. It suggests that the old model of venture capital might be evolving.
So are you saying that more investors are realizing that just giving money isn't enough?
I think so. They're seeing that being a true partner, being involved, can lead to much better results.
So Bling's hands-on approach, is that going to become the new normal?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's definitely a trend to watch.
I can see why. Bling's success is making everyone rethink things.
Exactly. A lot of firms are taking notice and starting to incorporate some of those same strategies.
Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. What does this all mean for the startup world as a whole?
Well, think about it. If more VC firms adopt this hands-on approach, it could create a much more supportive environment for new companies.
Because they'd have access to more than just funding, right?
Exactly. They'd have guidance, mentorship, all those things that are so crucial when you're just starting out.
It's like giving more startups a real shot at success.
Right. And the more successful startups we have, the more innovation we see in the world.
Which ultimately benefits everyone.
Exactly.
Okay, so for all our listeners out there, here's a final thought.
I'm all ears.
If Bling Capital is any indication, the future of venture capital might be less about the venture and more about the capital.
What do you mean by that?
I'm talking about human capital. The mentorship, the partnership.
Oh, I see. So it's about more than just financial investment.
Yeah. It's about working together, building companies that make a real impact on the world.
I like that. It's a hopeful vision for the future of innovation.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Bling Capital. Thanks for joining us, everyone.